One had never been more confused in her life. Just this morning she'd woken up, expecting to feel the warm, cozy body of her mother by her side. Her steadfast paws curled under her body like a promise. "You will always be safe with me. You will never be alone." She expected to feel a gentle, cold yet somehow comforting breeze in her fur, telling her that everything would in fact be all right. Instead, she felt the crisp, bitter autumn air. It had only been a couple of days since the cold season started, but it hadn't taken long for the entire ground to be covered in a blanket of crinkly, flat things. Mother had called them leaves. They covered the earth like multicolored flattened berries, red and orange and brown. Little One stepped out of her burrow and looked up, up, up at the huge sky, painted with blue and pink swirls of color. "Everything's so big," she thought in wonder. She switched her tail, trying to take in all the sights and smells. Mother never let her go out of the den, as much as Little One would plead for just a peek. "You're too young," she would say, as she groomed her daughter's fur. "Better to stay inside for now. You're only 1 month old, after all." She'd made up for it by explaining the forest to her, the sights and the smells, the lake to the south and the small forest where they lived, what creatures lived there, and how they looked. But Mother isn't here now. Little One stopped short, yanked out of her memories to recall the real question. Why isn't she here now? Little One shook her head. If Mother wanted to play hide and seek, like they did in the den sometimes, she would be the absolute best at it, you bet. She looked around slowly, sniffing each crinkly leaf and barren tree. Wait, what was that? Some kind of shimmer in the trees, like the moon shining on a lake, caught Little One's eye. Curious now, she waded through the mass of leaves and crunched quite a few with her tiny paws. She came into a barricade of bushes and tendrils that blocked her way, and the shine was much more prominent now. Still not close enough to find out what it was, she came closer but hesitated. Something about it seemed wrong. There was an extra scent to the forest here, something layered on top of it, as if it were warped, changed somehow. It was different than the part of the forest she lived in, confusing her sensitive nose. Little One sniffed her way through the bushes in her way and stopped in her tracks. There was a huge shiny thing in the middle of a clearing. A long brown tendril led all the way down to the strange contraption. Little One wasn't sure what it was. It had huge gray jaws with shining teeth that hinged open. It seemed like it could swallow the whole world if it wanted to. And clamped in its horrifying teeth was her mother. "Mother," Little One yipped, bounding to the strange contraption and trying to get it off. It wouldn't budge, though. Its teeth held fast to the middle of her mother's body. Little One didn't know why her mother was trying to get out. She whimpered a little, trying to get her mother's attention, but nothing came out of her limp jaws. Her eyes were gray and cloudy, as if all the light had been ripped away from them. Her paws hung loose at her sides. "Mother?" Little One whimpered more softly. Maybe she was just asleep, and then she would wake up and get out of those horrible jaws. Then she would be fine. Right? A loud yell made Little One's head jerk up, startled out of her trance. What was that? She turned and yelped as a large, tall thing came into view. Mother had told her about these, she remembered. They were called two-paws, because they walked upright on 2 paws. They were supposed to be dangerous. She looked it over. It certainly didn't look dangerous. Its paws were long and slender, and it was covered in a pelt of sorts over its whole body. It had a large tuft of fur on the top of its head, but was otherwise furless, and was carrying some kind of stick, long like a fallen branch and sort of shiny. Bang! The 2-paw raised its long stick and made a loud sound that almost deafened the little fox's sensitive ears. Little One's survival instincts finally kicked in, and she ran, fast as she could go, tearing off into the forest. Her paws tore up the ground, crushing leaves beneath her as she went. Little One didn't know where she could go, only that there was something very loud behind her and she had to escape. It didn't take long for her to get tired, however, and she collapsed underneath a berry bush, squashing a few fallen berries during her descent. She couldn't hear the 2-paw anymore, so she heaved a sigh and tried to catch her breath. "Maybe I can stay here. I can stay, and Mother will come meet me. Until then, I should find the den. That's what Mother always said to do." She tentatively crept out from under the berry bush and sniffed around, searching for signs of the loud two-paw. Not a sound other than the normal chirps from birds and the rustling of leaves. She looked around, trying to find a familiar spot. Everything looked different. She was in much thicker woods than before, and even the leaves looked darker and more foreboding. Little One was lost. Okay, if I can't get back to the den, she thought, maybe I can hunt for some food while I wait for Mother. Little One pattered around, sniffing for something she could catch. There! A small bird pecked about on the ground, completely oblivious to the fox sneaking up on it. Summoning the limited knowledge she had about hunting, Little One crept forward, her tail flicking with anticipation. She'd been too hasty, though, forgetting to still her tail like her mother had taught, so as not to rustle the leaves, and the bird quickly flew away. She located a stray rabbit after a bit more sniffing around. It was unaware of the fox, but its ears were pricked for danger. She had to be careful not to spook it. Little One crept around a tree, remembering to stay downwind this time, so the rabbit couldn't catch her scent, and kept her tail still. Then she leapt, aiming her claws for the rabbit's tender body. Unfortunately, she mistimed it and landed a few tail lengths away. The rabbit bounded away, and though she tried to get it, her short legs wouldn't allow her to give chase. Eventually, many tries later, she managed to nab a scrawny, unsuspecting shrew. Finally, she settled down under the bush, using her claws to dig a small hollow. It was pitiful compared to the roomy den she had lived in before, but she could hollow it out more later, when Mother came back. Unless she doesn't come back, she realized. Maybe she can't get out of that horrible thing's jaws. How can I survive without her? Little One swished her tail, ears drooping. She thought of her mother, who had always brought her prey once she was old enough. She thought of her warm, loving presence, always there to guide her. Her small teachings might even have saved her life if she could learn how to hunt. I don't know if I can let go, she murmured to herself, but maybe I have to. If she doesn't come back, she would want me to keep going. So I will. I'll keep going. I'll make a better den. I'll get better at hunting. I can do this. I can do what it takes to be a fox.